What is going on YouTube? But Great Blades here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Spyderco Smock. Start with some measurements with the overall size here. So overall size, we're looking at just under 8 inches, about 7.9. Blade length looking about just under 3.5, about 3.4, maybe 3.3, and then actual cutting edge just under 3 inches with that big forward choil looking at about 2.85 inches of actual cutting edge. Do a quick measurement on the blade stock thickness here. Looking at about 120 thousandths or so. We'll do a measurement on the weight here. So for weight on this one, looking at about 3.75 ounces. Not too bad. Then we'll do a quick size comparison with the Demco 20.5 with some original goat scales on it. I will link them down below. And then the QSP Penguin. So this one's going to be bigger than both of them, pretty substantially so compared to the QSP Penguin. And then we're at a little bit of an angle here, but it is just a little bit bigger than the Demco 20.5. Do a quick carry profile comparison here. So compared to the 20.5, it is just ever so just a little bit thinner than the 20.5, and then it is just a little bit thicker. Maybe, I think it's about the same thickness for the QSP Penguin. All right. So this one is the Blade HQ exclusive. This one came out almost 4 years ago now, actually, which is crazy, but came out in 2021. This one uses the sort of jade or like natural G10, and this one is in, if you can see here, CPM M4, which is pretty cool. It's not it's not at all a stainless steel, but it's pretty tough, and it can get some pretty crazy edge retention, which is nice. I don't live in like a super humid place, but enough that if you live somewhere where it gets wet or humid, M4 may not be the top choice steel for you, but if you take care of it, just clean it and keep it oiled. Usually I just use like some mineral oil or something like that, or like some food grade oil, and that'll help prevent it from getting any spots or anything like that. This, I guess you would kind of call this a Wharncliffe blade, or I guess maybe you could also argue a reverse tanto, or even a sheep's foot because of the kind of slight belly and upward kind of curve on this one. But regardless, it is a very, very nice hollow ground blade from Spyderco. This one is the coated one. When they came out, they had a just regular satin one, and then they had the black version. It's a not a DLC, not a PVD. What's the one I'm thinking of? Titanium nitride, TIN, coating. So it'll be reasonably tough, but it will eventually kind of scratch off. I mean, if you look here, right about here, you can kind of see there's a little bit of a scratch there on mine, just from kind of carrying and use. But it's, not a big deal, but just something to make note of. And of course, this is one of Spyderco's button lock compressions. So it uses a compression lock on the inside here, but it's a button operated compression lock. And I think it works very well. I mean, sometimes, like the flipper kind of compression lock combo Spyderco knives, because of the way that they have to be put together. Usually when you have a flipper, it will kind of run your finger into where the compression lock is, or sorry, when you're using the compression lock, it'll kind of bump into your finger, the flipper tab. But with this one, kind of because of the low profile square nature of it, it doesn't do that, which is nice. And then of course you can use the Spidey hole to flick it open forward or reverse. You can use the flipper tab. If you wanted to, you probably could use the button as well, but I don't really like to do that. Yeah, I went with the black one as well. Sorry, backtracking a little bit. I went with the black one because both of them, the satin and the black one, they came with a jade or natural G10. But with the black one, if you can see here, you can kind of see into the internals here a bit more, and I just thought that was kind of cool. You could see a little bit of kind of what's going on here underneath the scale, and I just thought that was neat. So that's why I got the black one. And it is reversible carry. It is tip up only, but again, that doesn't really bother me in particular, but if that's something you care about, then it may be. It does come with a lanyard tube. Not something I use. I've actually thought there's plenty of companies that sell aftermarket parts for the Smock, and quite a few that'll fit for the kind of barrel that they have here. Sorry, the lanyard barrel. So if you wanted to, you could just completely plug that up. I thought about doing that before, but I also don't truthfully carry this one all the time, or really almost ever lately, especially. But partially because CPM M4, but also just that it's an exclusive, and I kind of wanted to keep it somewhat nice and presentable. I do want to get just a regular plain Jane Smock. Since this one has come out, they made like a what do they call it? A CQI version of it, so like an updated version. So the pivot is a little bit different looking. It might be a different size. I think this one is a is it T6? T7 maybe. I don't think it's a T8. But they changed that and how it looks a little bit. Maybe some other things as well. But I have thought about picking one up. But part of the reason that I haven't is because of the price. So this came out, keep in mind, almost 4 years ago. So 2021, August of 2021. And at that point in time, this exclusive was 217, 215, 220, something like that, which is, fair. It's still kind of expensive, but for an exclusive in a different steel, and this one is one of Spyderco's, if you look here, they're Taichung Taiwan models, and if any of you guys know anything about Spyderco, their Taiwan models tend to be, I don't want to say better per se, but their fit and finish tends to be more consistent, and that kind of just leads to a better overall experience with the knife. Not always 100%, but typically I'd say they tend to be a little bit more consistent with that. What was I saying? Sorry. The price. So the regular, just plain Jane Smock, it comes with not even a true carbon fiber, it's that laminate stuff, the G10 with the carbon fiber kind of overlay on the top of it, which is fine, but I really wish they would give us real carbon fiber instead of the Peel Ply G10 kind of composite stuff. Even if it cost a little bit more, that'd be nicer. But it comes with that, and then the blade steel is S30V, which again, plenty fine, but there are better steels now, or just more more balanced steels, and just better, I guess, more for the price, I should say, better for the price, like performance to cost ratio. But this one is still fine, or sorry, the plain Jane one is still fine, but that one is like $230 or $240 now, at least when I'm filming this, which is kind of crazy for Peel Ply G10 carbon fiber and S30V. If it was at least like Magna Cut or real carbon fiber, something else, then maybe you could justify the price. But at the same time, everything has gotten more expensive in the last couple years, and knives in general, and Spyderco in particular, along with a few other companies, Benchmade, have been raising their prices. I mean, cost of manufacturing goes up, cost of living, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, we won't get into that, though, but it's more expensive, so do with that information what you will, but still a solid knife, I would say. And for those of you that don't know, this was I guess they still sell it. It's a collaboration with Kevin Smock, who's a USA custom knife maker. I want to say out of... I'm not going to say because I'm not 100% sure, but I think somewhere down south. Kentucky or something is what comes to mind immediately. Alabama, I don't know. But I'll double check and I'll put it up on screen here somewhere. But custom USA knife maker. It's based off one of his models, the SK23. Excuse me. And he still makes those. Again, I pre-record content, but when I'm recording this, not too long ago, he released some very small batch and some scales as well previously. But I definitely would like to check out one of his full customs, but probably definitely out of my price range. But yeah, it's based off his custom, and I don't know the exact details. I know he's talked about it before on his social media, but I think someone from Spyderco saw one of his knives or was a fan of one of his knives and kind of like pitched the idea both to Kevin and someone higher up in Spyderco to make a collab with him. And then, they asked him and he said yes, and now we have the Spyderco Smock instead of the custom Smock, which I'm sure is probably 2 or 4 times more expensive than even a base Smock. But yeah, honestly, this is probably one of my favorite, and I think probably a lot of other people's as well, but it's probably one of my favorite Spydercos. I like the weird ones, I have the Akuchi, which I've shown off on the channel here before. I have a couple, actually I think just one other Spyderco, but it's not one of the silly ones, but and it's pretty simple looking, even I guess compared to something like the Para 3 or the PM2, but those are even still kind of a little, they're good knives, but they're still kind of weird looking. But this one, I think, kind of is that perfect balance. I think it looks nice and it functions very nice. It's very utilitarian in a lot of ways, but it also does still have that, I don't know, fun factor, I guess, because it's really fidgety. I definitely need to oil this up a little bit, though. Put some nano oil in there. But, yeah, it's kind of that perfect balance between being really crazy looking, but also it's still functional and, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, it's lost on me, but it's that perfect balance, which I think I really appreciate, and I wish Spyderco would do some kind of more things like that, because to me, a lot of Spydercos are either ridiculously, horrendously ugly, even if they're nice knives, just aesthetically, they're not for me, and I think a lot of them are really ugly, or they're just really boring. Kind of, again, I might get some hate for this, but like the PM2 Para 3, they're good knives, but they're kind of boring. Like, there's not really a whole lot going on with them, even with them being compression locks or anything like that. But this one, I think, perfect balance. It's simple, but I still think it looks good. It's fun, fidgety, button lock, things like that. I wish Spyderco would do some more things like this, or make more versions of the Spyderco Smock. I think if they did like a excuse me, if they did like a budget version of this, like if they made G10 or micarta, and then if they use something like not D2, that's a little bit maybe like 14C28N. If they use like a 14C and like G10 or micarta, and if they could do something like that, and probably very hopeful wishing at this point, but if they could do something like that for like $100, $80 maybe would probably be ideal, but $100 probably is still fair. I think that'd be really cool. And it's not a big knife, definitely, full-size knife at, just under 8 inches, but I think if they did a small one too, that would be nice. I've got small hands, but I think, just shorten it up a little bit, I don't know, maybe 20% or so. Even if they, they'd have to cut the blade a little bit too, but I think if they did that, that'd be really cool. I think the demand's there. There's a guy on Instagram who does like blade chops, and I've seen him do like mini smocks. So I think the demand is there. I think if Spyderco did it themselves, though, that'd be really cool. Because a little mini smock, I don't know, something about that's just so fun to me. Yeah, what else can I say about this? Ergonomically, I mean, you do have a pretty prominent lock-in position here for your index finger. It is nicely, if we can see here, maybe it won't show up just because it is scalloped here, and that is nicely chamfered, so there's no sharp edges on that, but so that's comfortable. And then the rest of your fingers just kind of sit here, and there's a slight taper near the very edge here, which kind of helps with comfort and just kind of slim it down so it's not just a brick shape. Top, again, it's just pretty much a straight line. There is a little bit of jimping on the top here. I think if you're just kind of in a neutral position here, just where they want you to naturally lay your index finger, your thumb does kind of land right on top of that, which is nice. It is kind of chunky, and I'm not going to lie, it is a little sharp for my personal preference. If they knocked it down just a little bit and spaced them a little closer together, I think it would give you, that's still good balance between grip and tearing your thumb up. And if they extended it maybe just a little bit, they don't have to go all the way to the thumb hole here, maybe, but maybe just a little bit further in between would be nice, because when you choke up on it and you put your finger in that forward choil, you do still kind of land on it, but I think if they did just a little bit further, that would be probably one of my only gripes with the knife. The pocket clip is one of Spyderco's just kind of standard pocket clips. It works fine, if not maybe a little long, but ergonomically it doesn't bother you squeezing down on it. It doesn't really make any hot spots, at least not for me, that I have ever felt or feel right now. And luckily there are plenty of companies, Flightanium, RGT, Lynch, they all make clips that work with these, Spyderco 3-hole clips. Most of them are pretty much about the same, so you can always swap that out for whatever type of clip that you prefer, honestly. But I think if they did cut it down a little bit, it doesn't have to be, 3/4 of the knife. And also, it is obviously not prioritized because they have that lanyard tube there. I think they really could have done away with that. Move the clip all the way up here to the edge. Instead of having the lanyard tube there, just make it a bar on the back here. They already have that because of the tube, so they didn't have to, I think, have that open. They could have just had that tube, shrunk it a little bit, and then if you wanted a lanyard, you could just attach it to the post there. But truthfully, all those are pretty small and more things for my taste, I think. But yeah, overall, this thing is phenomenal. Again, I think this is probably one of my favorite Spyderco knives that I have or have handled. The only other one that I think I like, probably as much, I would say. I actually don't own it. I really do want one, though. But is the the Spyderco Canis, the what's his name? Is it Kevin McCann? I'll double check that. But the collab with him, I think that knife is sweet too. I really do like that one. I think that one could use some upgrades as well. But overall, I think aesthetically and ergonomically, that's also a really cool knife. But anyways, I think that's going to be pretty much it, guys. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe because I'll be making more content. And let me know in the comments down below. Did you pick up the Spyderco Smock, the Blade HQ exclusive, 3 years ago now? Do you have a regular Smock? Have you handled the Smock? What do you think about it? Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.